quite a bit with avoiding getting spawn frag.
Yeah, I would expect to see that strategy. He's going to go with Nyx first. I'd be surprised if he goes with the... oh, he almost that there. And then he surprises me. He's with Sword Lag.
DaHanG is going to end up using the Nyx, however, so he's got that extra little bit of movement to try and get around the map a bit quicker. And using the stealth early on here, too. I'm not sure if it's not on purpose or not, but nonetheless, that has put it on the full 35-second cooldown, and now he's going to end up in a head-on fight here with no room to retreat anymore. Has to continue fighting or find a more normal route to get himself out of here. Wrong reads as well as he just gets hit by that rail, and then a follow-up one from Rapha takes him out very quickly. We are going to see DaHanG losing his first champion.
Yeah, ate a little bit of a spit there, some of that rockets, then he got locked down below. He's in trouble right now. He's got to make sure he doesn't get spawn frag.
Doing some good damage against Rapha at the very least on the SMG, but now diving directly down into his opponent's face, trying to get the direct hits there on the spit, but just can't make it happen. So Rapha closes out on a second kill as well, and now he's coming to full form here, and DaHanG just continuing to take the battle. There you go. Just over a minute into the round was all that Rapha needed, and he's already taken control of the first round.
DaHanG, you know, he dropped down for that spit, and I think he made a miscalculation of how much stack Rapha really had left there. It seemed like it, because he felt, it seemed by the move he made, like he felt like he could get the kill there, and it wasn't close.
So Rapha trying to fight it back out. He's going to be a little bit careful as the Nyx went into stealth. Make sure that she doesn't end up reappearing right in front of his face and doing that massive damage, but Rapha's got himself a decent stack this time starting off on the scale bar. He does miss the Nyx passing him, however, so DaHanG is able to sneak through. There's a little bit of control to work off here.
I'm wondering if there's a little strategy at play. Notice he changed his first pick from Sorlag to Scale Bearer, right? Thinking maybe DaHanG's expecting Sorlag, so he changed it to maybe throw him off a little bit early on.
Rapha's still with ultimate control across this map for the most part, though. He's going to make the quick run over here, try to get himself a tank stack set up. Basically just trying to read into where exactly DaHanG is, but able to find him. He's a little bit confused and trying to read into all these different positions.
Yeah, DaHanG should definitely be looking to get any kind of small stack. He needs to whittle him down, especially because he's playing a Nyx. I mean, you can see how stacked he is right now with Scale Bearer, and look compared to the Nyx. He needs to land some rails from range and some unanswered rails. And even this out.
This is the other problem with the Nyx too, is we can see DaHanG trying to hold control of the bridge so that he can get himself that full armor pickup, but the problem is Rapha, who on the much more tankier champion and with himself being already stacked up, there wasn't really a whole lot the Nyx could do to try and challenge for control of that full armor a few seconds ago, so it went into Rapha's hands for a second time in a row there. But the thing is, now they got them into a bit of a fight, so the thing is they're both off of that armor, and in a second it's going to spawn. I believe DaHanG is going to be sitting right up on top of it, but no, he's nowhere to be seen. Coming up on top of the steps though, great rocket shot, and it forces the stealth and gives the armor over to Rapha again. Oh, as well, beautiful reads right down the steps as he finds DaHanG reappearing, and one more rocket is all that's needed to get that kill.
And that's what I was speaking about earlier, about Nyx's going invis when they're low like that. You know they have to make a beamline for the health. He checked the health up top, didn't see him reappearing there, shot that rocket down below, and there's the frag.
So Rapha has the advantage starting off in his second round now. If he pushes through and wins this one, that's going to be it. Now moving into a great position as well, does so much damage over against his opponent's Sorlag. Again, controls that armor. I think he's got every single spawn so far in this round.
Yeah, DaHanG's in a bad spot right now. He really is running everything. He's so stacked. He hit that rail. He knows you're low. He's going to come right after you right there.
Oh, and there we go. DaHanG losing yet another champion. Just down to his visor now. He's got a 1v3 to try and win out this round and take it to a third one.
He's in big trouble right now. You got a stacked Scale Bearer. He's going to come right back for that heavy armor.
Scale Bearer in a little bit of a peculiar position, but still, with the stack he has, that's not too much of a worry for him. The full armor came up just a few moments ago here, and now Rapha, not even really just going for the armor, just wanting to get in the way of his opponent here to see if he can knock him out before he gets to it. A really well-read rocket, just a little bit early there, and ends up second-guessing himself.
It's a tactic where you kind of corner your opponent off on the map, even though you know the item's up.
Oh! Scale Bearer charge moves in, and we did actually see Rapha just tried to go right for that kill to close out. They're having a little bit of fun, it seems. And
yeah, it was a little foolish.
ultimately, DaHanG just barely able to save himself, but now look at this, right up in front, hello! There's the reappearance from the Knicks, and Rapha shuts it down with the fadeaway rail shot. Is going to get that final kill, and again, it's Rapha taking control of a map 2-0.
Wow. The fadeaway rail at the end.
Absolutely. Well, it's time to jump into our next map here, so be sure to stick around, folks, as the action is going to be continuing in just a few moments, just getting through the champions now. Seeing a couple different change-ups here now for both DaHanG and Rapha, as he is going to bring out the Anarchy, whereas DaHanG is moving back over to that Ranger pick that he's been fond of, along with the Visor. Another new one. Lena, that's an interesting composition that Rapha's gone with there.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, and on Blood Run, no doubt. Like I said, unfortunately, I still have nightmares about Clutch. He did some very bad things to me in a duel with Clutch before, so that I don't want to go into. I don't think it's appropriate for other people here, but yeah, he's really good with that Clutch character. I know it's as big as the house, but I've actually, like I said, I've ran into him using that character before. He's really good at utilizing that shield and the bigger stack the character has. So even though you can hit him, he's hitting you back, and he's just so beefy. It can become a problem, especially if you use a lighter character.
And the Galena coming into the picture as well, that we've been seeing a lot more use out of recently after she got buffed there. The ability to kind of set traps with it is definitely an interesting prospect that we've been seeing used a little bit here and there, especially at the spot that spawns outside of the the portals and whatnot. We've been seeing them placed a lot there. I think some of our devs tried to use that over on Lockbox, and we were playing in the devs versus pro matchup earlier. But into it we will go, and it's going to start off with the Anarchy versus Ranger matchup here. Both players trying to move around. No one getting any huge hits off on the other just yet, and when hits have been done, it's been mostly recovered. But look at this though, DaHanG is sneaking right up onto Rapha, pushing him downstairs and guaranteeing that he gets the full armor pickup for this round.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. Both these players are very familiar with this map layout, so this is a very common duel map.
Trying to play it a lot more passively here, hoping that he gets his opponent pushing him from the outside of the portal spawn. Rapha taking a similar note here, trying to sneak across the map, lines up a nice rail shot, his opponent pushes on him. That rocket's a little bit dangerous though, so he uses the injection to get himself into a safer position and try to recover some of that armor. Wrap back around for a better spot now, and takes a moment to stop. Tries to listen to what DaHanG is going to do. Now he does let his opponent get that full pickup there, so DaHanG is going to get himself nice and stacked up, but he still doesn't want to take this battle just yet. He's going to round back onto the other side and go for a few more pickups before he decides to dive in against Rapha. That was a position that he felt confident enough to take the duel with.
Yeah, this, the heavy armor here is going to be important.
It's going to spawn in 5 seconds here. Both these players looking for it, so they're going to go into a duel for it. Problem is DaHanG is going to be in a little bit of an awkward spot, so he's more likely going to have to rocket jump up on top to be able to claim that, or just use his dire orb to go for it. And oh, now falling back, he just takes this duel, gets himself the mega health, but he's trapped now as he has to go back out into that room, and he'll go for the armor pickup. So he ends up with both of those, giving him quite a massive stack to work with, depending on how much health he lost from that battle after he got the mega health.
I think he'll be okay after that battle. He had the better position to go back for the heavy armor and recover. And if you notice there, Rapha made a mistake. That's why he wanted to go up those stairs and actually fell off. A little movement error.
So now they're going to find themselves in an open room here again. Battle between railguns at this point, but Rapha working quite well with it, getting so much damage in. The portal comes in from the dire orb, but we're about to have the spawn. Here's the thing, Rapha took a big risk in staying there, but thankfully for him it ends up paying off as DaHanG decided to take a lower route there, which means he didn't get to immediately contest against Rapha on that pickup. Rapha is able to claim that extra armor to work off of now. In a great spot though. Rapha does not expect to find him directly behind him. He's getting so much damage. It needs to get closer though for that LG to be able to work back out. And again, just not able to find the finishing blows in that kill. The Tri-Bolt holding him back a little bit here as he's trying to do more damage, but just can't find that finishing blow to knock out this Anarchy. There we go, finally gets him in trying to go for the rocket, hits the mid-air shot, and finally knocks out his first kill. Here's the thing though, he's getting chased down. He's been able to recover a decent amount of his health, but he's got to run away and recover it a little bit here. Get himself into a better position to take this next fight against the newly spawned Galena.
That was an interesting fight. I don't think that rocket jump by Rapha there was very advisable.
Now he's ready to go back into this fight here, doing massive damage with those rockets too. One of them hitting head on and bringing Galena down incredibly low, but now leaping back up on top, he just goes right into the lightning gun setup from DaHanG, or by Rapha, excuse me. And so Rapha is able to claim the trade kill and now bring it down to a 2v2, ready to take more fights with these rails as well, trying to push his opponent back, and now over to the lightning gun. Has to have him low by this point, just a few more shots needed to eliminate him. He's backed up into the portal, but DaHanG couldn't seem to find the portal entrance, so it's Rapha that claims the second kill. bringing this down to a 2v1.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to back through that portal, but like you said, he couldn't find it. Can't say that's never happened to me before.
So,
he's in firm control right now.
Using quite nice positioning as well on these totems. Just trying to set up traps. If DaHanG tries to go on a route to go for pickups here, he may just end up running right into one of those totems, and that can really mess up a player, mess up their momentum, and probably mess up their minds a little bit too, as that's something that's definitely going to tilt players a little bit if they walk into one of those after getting a good setup. And there we go, there's one of them hitting right there for 75 damage.
It's like clockwork, you were just talking about it, and there it is.
So both of those are going to blow up, and now Rapha is going to look to finish the job here. Doesn't even need to go for this kill. If he wants to play passively, he can. Gets the rocket jump up on top to get the full armor. Now he's fully kitted out. Bonus health, bonus armor. That's pretty much every weapon he would need here. DaHanG's going to try to leap back up, but Rapha can just run away from this one as he's got the 2v1 advantage. And it's not looking likely that DaHanG will be able to find him in time to pick up that kill, especially with the stack that Rapha's working on right now.
Yeah, Rapha's definitely fully stacked right now, as well as we can tell. I don't think DaHanG really has much of a chance. He's by the portal. He's playing the smart thing, right? He's going to go through the portal if he sees anybody.
Yeah, there we go. Just escapes outside.
Charge. There you go.
So round number 1 goes over to Rapha. He plays it out on the timer instead. Takes the passive defensive route, keeps himself alive with that +1 man advantage, and off of that, he is able to take control of round number 1. Still one more to go, though, to be able to claim the map and continue his rampage up to a potential 3-0 scoreline.
Going with a little different approach here, starting with Clutch.
Immediately jumping into that fight, too. Some nice rocket hits, just doesn't have the high ground to play off of currently. So has to bail out of the fight for getting mega health. However, DaHanG is going to oblige and continues to take battles versus him in the open alley over here. Not able to lock him down just yet, but at the moment, Rapha still with great control and still so much HP to work off of. DaHanG tries to use the dire to get back up to high ground there, but it only puts him in the open so that Rapha can connect another rail shot to take out his first champion.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot. This is where you got to be worried about. I know everybody thinks that he's so big, right? It's easy to hit, but look at his stack. He can really be aggressive with the clutch. Especially if you're running the map, it's a dangerous time for you if the clutch is running all the powerful items.
Now, nicely done. Look at these rocket lineups as well. They trade rocket frags again. We've seen this before back on our first map, but now they've done it once more. This time, though, Rapha already had a champion advantage against his opponent, so now it's going down to another 2v1 in the favor of Rapha. They're going to get right into this fight, too. DaHanG trying to play it out with a dual wheel here, but his opponent gets through the portal and into safety. Now, bit of a sudden realization, but he's just in the open here, having to try and dodge these rail shots. Gets him back into a corner here. He's going to use that passive regen now that he has it to play off of, but that health just a second later. Has to go scavenging for more of it anyway.
Yeah, again, just scavenging around, trying to build any stack he can. Oh my gosh, Rapha's in a bad spot. He's lucky to kind of get that heavy armor there. But still, he seems to have the firm control. DaHanG just can't seem to get the timing down on these items. Looks like Rapha's waiting for mega health again. He needs to try to set an ambush somewhere. He's got to finish Rapha out, but that's easier said than done.
Rapha continuing. Both these players kind of just circumnavigating the map, not realizing how close they are to each other. But with the spawn coming up in a moment here, both these guys are going to want to look for their respective pickups. Position rockets in a great position for DaHanG, but he needs to stop allowing Rapha to get out into this open position here now. So he's going to move in, gets that pickup, still has leftover health from the last time he got himself the mega health pickup as well. So he ends up with a pretty decent stack overall at the end of it. Now just needs to move in, get the initiation, and finish off this kill into Rapha to bring it back down to a 1v1.
Yeah, right now too, Rapha has the speed advantage with Anarchy, so he can really afford to run away when he needs to.
And now Rapha trying to take this fight here, hits the rail, gets a nice amount of damage off with the lightning gun and trying to read into a corner as he retreats. However, DaHanG has that rail shot, and that was all it was needed to finish off Rapha. Time no longer a factor for these two players as this goes down to a 1v1. Next kill will win out this round.
Great finish there by DaHanG. I thought maybe when Rapha used his ability as Anarchy, he should have used that as his opportunity to escape and get out of there.
DaHanG being quite loud now with his moving around the map here. Rapha, true to himself, takes that moment to sit back passively, and now into this fight they'll go, but DaHanG does not want to seem to really take this. He wants to sit back, play it more passively. Quick switch over to the rail to hit his next shot, and he succeeds in connecting it. The next one's a little bit off its mark, so he's not going to get the finishing blow that's needed to bring Rapha down incredibly low and make him essentially one-shottable.
Yeah, that was an excellent combo. The lightning gun and rail gun combo, I mean, it's just an instantaneous switch and hit.
So now Rapha's going to end up leaping in. Does actually catch DaHanG trying to retreat over there. Again, though, DaHanG not wanting to take the fight, running away quite a bit in these battles. Keep in mind, now he's on Blazkowicz, though, so if he gets him into a closed space, in an area that he knows he could just take Rapha on in an open battle, he can pop that dual wield and increase his damage by a huge margin.
It does seem like that might be what he's playing for here. He just wants to get that right situation, pop the ability, because one frag here is going to do it.
Yeah, super passive on it just to try and set up something like that. I think Raph was smart about this though, and he realized that that's a possibility, so he's been trying to avoid just these open fights inside of these smaller corridors here for having to not want to deal with this essentially, and that was perfect positioning from Rapha. Has himself that tighter corner so that in the event that dual wield popped out, he was able to fall back and play much more passively. Now they're into the open fight though, and he's got him low. He's got it low and indeed lines up that last rocket to allow for the second round to go into the hands of DaHanG. Nicely played. He closes out round 2 and we go 1-1.
That was a great finish by DaHanG when he did the double, the ability from BJ, and he hit that rail at the end there when he went to Mega. That really enabled him to make that risk jump, rocket jumping up. If he doesn't hit that rail, I don't think he rocket jumps up there.
Well, immediately DaHanG is going to find himself a little bit disoriented, expecting to find Rapha up on top, but not the case. So loses most of what he just picked up in that run, and now has to go on recovery, whereas Rapha wants to chase down, get himself into a fight. Trying to fight with the nail gun. It's just that, unfortunately, the nail gun is not going to prove to be super effective in knocking out Rapha under these circumstances, so he gets the better of that situation. He's going to be able to hop back looking for these spawns here. Health coming back up, and now if he can get himself up on top, he could go for the armor, but DaHanG is quick to jump directly on that problem. DaHanG's kind of stuck, though, and he had to use his dire orb just to get out of that corner.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for him that he had to use it just for that, but if he would have jumped across, Rapha was just waiting to rail that.
We need to try and look for ways to read into each other here. Rapha anticipates DaHanG to try and go for the mega health pickup, and he's right to do so. Gets him locked into a corner over to the rail. He's done over 120 damage in these last few seconds alone. So it's looking like he's going to try to prioritize getting over there, getting that full armor pickup, which he succeeds in doing, but already most of that armor is gone. He's down to his 22 HP, recovering some of it now. Needs to try and find better positioning soon, though. It's the second or third time so far in this round where we've seen Rapha ending up with a better positioning against his opponent here. And if that continues to happen, eventually DaHanG is going to lose that first duel.
Curious to see who gets the first frag right now. It's very much in the balance, but it does seem like Rapha has a little better sense of when the mega health and the big armor, the heavy armor.
Hopping around now. He's got himself a full stack, so I'm personally going to be expecting him to get a little bit more aggressive once he's able to figure out exactly where DaHanG is hiding out at. He's to wrap back around, and there you go. Reads into it beautifully. No hope at all for DaHanG in that battle. Rapha just far too well set up for that situation.
Yeah, nothing he could do there. He even landed his shots, but Rapha had a nice stack there for that.
So 2-3 here now as the first kill goes by the way of Rapha, but that could change. Rapha put into a poor position just before he gets himself up the jump pad. DaHanG claims the traded kill and survives it with only 13 HP as well. Just barely picks up that win and brings it back into a 2v2. But now this is when Rapha's going to get a little bit more trickier as he's bringing the Galena back out. And those traps can be a real menace. Immediately trying to knock Rapha out here. Just deploying one of those totems over on top of the mega health to deny DaHanG the capability to go for it and pick it back up. Nice control again being exercised here by Rapha as he not only is going to be able to get that mega health, but he rocket jumps up on top, gets himself the full armor as well.
Yeah, he's in a group right now. As you can tell, he had that heavy armor. He had the heavy armor time. He has the mega time. DaHanG needs to somehow push him off of these things.
Gonna try to route himself around the map here. Just lost his opportunity to find the kill onto Rapha down here, but now Rapha, look at that speed, just leaping right in to go for the mega health pickup. One more rail and DaHanG is done. So he's on the run right now, trying to survive with only 25 health. There's not a lot of room for mistakes anymore for him, as in the time he took to go and pick up that extra health pool, he actually let Rapha get into a position where now he can move in, claim the armor. So he's got both of those now. He's lost most of it already, but he still ends up at full HP. Much better off than DaHanG.
Yeah, DaHanG's definitely on the seals right now.
Oh, and there we go. Knocks out that second champion with a beautiful setup. Second time now, he's predicted his opponent's actions beautifully and has been able to execute based upon that.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Like I said, reading your opponent. He had the rocket waiting for him, popped him in the air, did the classic rocket to rail combo. Frag is, highlight frag as I like to call it. It's a nice frag.
Let's come down to DaHanG's last champion, Rapha, hitting that rail though. Not the best start to it. Knocks out of the armor, and DaHanG taking a bit of a risk here, going up the jump pad, popping the dual wield, but he can't get the damage in time. So at the end of the day, Rapha is going to come out victorious once again, and he'll take control of this map 2-1.
Excellent match. DaHanG got caught coming up the jump pad there. It's something you never really want to do. You never want to be coming up a jump pad in front of another player.